Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Whitey and Wills Sports Show. This is episode number 33, and today is Sunday, May 8th.
Aren't we in the 40s?
The 40s of episodes?
Oh,
Mike, do we need to start recording again?
I don't know. I thought last week you said episode 41 or something.
No way. Episode number 33. I've gotten into the habit of checking before.
Awesome. Okay. Nah,
before every
I like to leave our bloopers in.
Episode number 32 was last week with Jim Raditz. Episode
Right.
number 33 is today. And here's the deal. We had a guest lined up right up until earlier today. We found out that wasn't going to be the case for good reason. We can excuse this person for not being able to get on with us today. Mike, maybe you can shed a little bit of light on that. I don't know exactly.
Well, we had Mr. Danny Winkler lined up, and he's currently with the Texas Rangers AAA squad in Round Rock. And are they the Round Rock Rangers? I don't know.
No, isn't it the Round Rock Express, I believe?
Round Rock Express.
Yeah, the Round Rock Express.
I've been on their website and looked at stuff, but I guess I didn't see their name.
Yeah.
So Danny, with the major league rules, with everything, and when you have a rain out now, you can call up one or two people to create a taxi squad so your pitching staff doesn't get decimated in a doubleheader.
Yeah.
So he got called to New York. They're playing the Yankees today. He did not get officially called up in game one because we were texting between games.
Mm-hmm.
I just reached out and said, "Hey, here's our time. I just sent the link to you." And he's like, "Oh crap, I forgot to tell you. I just got called up yesterday." Like the Whitey and Will show was high on his list of things to think as he packed his bags because they were in Reno playing, and he packed his bags in Reno and flew to New York to be with the big club again. So we weren't high on his list, which we shouldn't be. No. And he will apologize. I said, "Danny, I'm just tickled to death that you're back almost in the show again." So
it would have
that's
been
where we're at.
It would have been kind of cool. I hope maybe in this series with the Yankees that he does get a chance to maybe get some things have to go his way, I think, but it would be very cool if somehow he ended up on the active roster for a game and you got Effingham kids in both dugouts, on both active.
That's what I told him in a text. I said, we should have just had you and Chad meet at the concession stand, and we could have just had you both on today. But we're not even that good, Whitey. We couldn't have pulled that one off. So.
Well, yeah, you're probably right.
I think they frown on fraternization between games or something. But no, we'll have Danny on. He just was thrilled when I asked him to be on. He's, "Oh, I'd love to." So yeah, and I will have to apologize for you being fanboy when we have him on. You'll be gushing your Braves love. You may wear your Braves underoos for that.
Listen here. We had it all planned out. My daughter, I don't think she can fit into it anymore, but she had a Danny Winkler. We had a shirt made, a Braves shirt made with his name and number on it.
There you go.
We went to when we were down in Atlanta. Oh gosh, it's been a while back now, but we went down there on the 4th of July and went to a game at what was then called SunTrust Park before they changed it to Truist. We went and saw a game there, and then
what's it called now?
Truist. It's some bank. I don't know. Whoever the highest bidder was. Very boring. Yep.
Yeah.
But then we went to Gwinnett the next night. We went to the Gwinnett Stripers game, and we went down to the dugout, or the bullpen rather, and tried to get Danny's attention. He saw us. I think he's probably mostly wondering why people are bugging him at work, but we went all that way. My daughter wanted to at least go yell at him for a minute. She got a little bashful, which if you know her, that's not really very not very much like her, a little out of character, but anyway, glad. Yeah, I'm really happy for him.
So you have a Gwinnett Stripers hat on, I just noticed.
Oh yeah, I did. That it's a it's a pretty cool place to see a game, but all those minor league parks are kind of cut from the same cloth, but they're nice. It's a nice atmosphere. You get to sit like right there on the field, and it's pretty good, pretty darn good baseball. So
while we're off the subject, I have a minor league story for you.
Okay, go for it.
When I was the athletic director at Teutopolis, the year they were state champs. Okay. So we're up there, and part of you go up the day before the state tournament, and they had a Peoria Chiefs game. So they feed you in the outfield, and then you stick around and watch the Chiefs game. So this is 2017. So we're watching the Chiefs, and I'm sitting by Coach Fleener, and I tell him, I said, hey, this kid's starting for the Cardinals tonight is a big prospect. Young man by the name of Jordan Hicks was a starting pitcher. And I said, this kid at third, we got I think it was I forget who they traded to the Braves, was Juan Yepez was at third base. It was, who was the big left-handed first baseman that went to Atlanta from the Cardinals?
From the Cardinals?
Yeah, big city they call him.
Matt Adams?
Matt Adams. He was traded to the Braves for Juan Yepez. Remember that, Braves fan. So Juan Yepez, who now is hitting 500 for the Cardinals, or right there, hit his first homer today. And we left in the fourth inning. And in the morning, eating breakfast before we go get, stuff for the state tournament, I'm reading the Peoria paper. And Jordan Hicks drilled a guy to start the fifth, and they had a bench cleared brawl. We missed it by an inch. But yeah, Hicks and Yepez both played in that game.
Hicks getting back to the starting now.
And you know what? They've had to slow walk him, get his pitch count up. And I've been happy so far. I really have. He's nasty.
Yeah.
When he's on, he's nasty.
I mean, I think if a guy's good, you get the most value out of him clearly by using him as a starter. But with his injury history, I just wondered how well that was going to work. But it's early, but so far so good, I guess.
Yeah.
So we got plenty of local stuff to talk about.
We got a full slate.
I don't have a great plan as far as attacking it. We can kind of just wing it, I suppose. We should.
Strange week.
Yeah, the weather was not great, but still, got some games in early in the week and then over the weekend for some teams anyway. Thursday and Friday, I don't think too much happened around here.
T-Town ended up playing Friday at Edwardsville. Now that's on that all surface.
Yeah, I think
they were getting a little less rain down there in St. Louis.
Yeah, I've actually I helped coach a 15U team once upon a time, and we played at Edwardsville High School on their turf field they have there, and so yeah, they've got it. It's it keeps it's. I don't know how much I like those fields as far as how they play, but it's pretty convenient as far as not losing games anyway.
Well, it's good when you have a day when it just kind of is pissy, drizzly, rain, and misty all day, where field can't play. But something like that, it's fine. It's just going right through. It's so porous.
Let me tell you, when those fields suck is in July, when it's like 97 degrees outside and they're just like absorbing all that heat, just radiating that heat.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of fun, but again,
warm.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
That's what they said about the Old Bush Stadium. I guess the first time they had the All-Star game in maybe 67, 68 when it opened. And somebody asked, I don't know if it was Casey Stengel or someone, they said, what do you think of this place? And he said, well, it holds the heat well.
Well, I don't know. Any stadium that has ever been in St. Louis that I've been to, it's just midsummer games are rough a lot of times. It just gets
all warm down there.
It's pretty stagnant in there. We could start with T-Town if you want to. The T-Town baseball team had like you said, an interesting week. I think.
Yeah, I actually watched them Wednesday, I guess. Thursday we had a lot of rain. Wednesday they played North Clay, and it was on TV.
Oh yeah,
that station down there.
Yeah.
Coach Zink and Coach Taylor were doing the commentary, and So it's a good thing they have coaching jobs to fall back on. They were, I forget, I texted them something, and but North Clay beat T-Town 10-1, and it was one of those games where Justin probably just had, with the big week coming at Edwardsville, he had a small limit of pitches some people could throw, and they did. And, had a kid probably hasn't thrown maybe at all this year, tried to throw an inning. He had control problems. Gosh, and who was the point guard for North Clay, the little point guard now? Gosh dang it, I can't remember his name now to save my life. His initials are either CB or BC.
Colin Ballard, is that who we're talking about? Or Carson Burkett?
Ballard. We got a new cat in the house.
2 home runs.
Brought home from college. So
Ballard hit 2 home runs in that game.
He hit 2 homers, hit a grand slam and a 3-run homer. And he homered, I think, the day before against St. Anthony in a big game, which had ramifications on the postseason pairings because they were seeded in 1-2 in their complex. So, heck of an accomplishment. Now the wind was blowing out there, and if I remember, Busher homered as well. Yeah, Sam homered for T-Town. Somebody else homered. Conkle did. Sam hit a bullet, and somebody else homered. Griffey maybe hit his first career home run for North Clay. So it was really the wind was blowing out. It was a windy day. But yeah, 2 quality teams.
I take it this game was at Louisville then, right?
It was at Louisville.
Yeah, I was going to say T-Town's field doesn't you're not going to see like 5 home runs hitting the game there.
Yeah, the wind very rarely blows out of the dead south. I mean, this was a westerly wind. Yeah, coming out of the west. So yeah, North Clay was a big win there. They turned around and played Breeze Central and got beat 4-3, maybe on Friday or Saturday.
3-2 on Wednesday. Now they did lose. I'm looking. They got beat by Shelbyville on Saturday also, which I saw that and I was like, that's a little off.
Shelbyville beat St. Anthony.
Yeah, they did. That's what I was getting ready to say was that Shelbyville.
It's kind of a head scratcher because Max Preps came out. I don't know how much stock I put in Max Preps. It's the only really, I guess, baseball rankings you'll see. And they had North Clay 1, St. Anthony 2 and 1A. Breeze Central was really high in 2A. T-Town was on there in 2A. A couple schools were on there in 2A. But like Edwardsville was 1 in 4A. They had Edwardsville 1 in the whole state.
Yeah. I've got a cat.
Hey, it's dueling cats. We could have cats hissing at each other.
Shelbyville's 22-2 according to the Max Press page, by the way. Okay,
well, that's pretty impressive.
So
just another good baseball team in the area. The area is loaded.
See, I honestly didn't even know. I just didn't really know anything about it.
Well, so T-Town played North Clay during the week. Friday went down to the Edwardsville, has a little invitational, little tournament, kind of a big round robin. I don't know how they have it set up, but they've been there once, got COVIDed out the other time. So they were down there and they played Highland Friday night and got a win. Sam Busher pitched, got a win. He went 7 innings. Did I tell you the score earlier, Whitey? I had it here.
It was they played Highland and beat them 4-3.
No, Edwardsville.
Oh, Edwardsville.
Beat Edwardsville 4-2.
Yeah.
Busher went 5 and had 2 RBIs. Scored, drove in 2 of their runs. Had a double and a home run. So pretty good against Edwardsville. Now the matchups, Edwardsville's hypothetically number 1 in state overall based on Max Preps.
4A school.
You don't know what pitcher you saw in the rotation, what number. However, you probably saw their hitters. Okay, so that was an impressive win. Turn around Saturday and beat Chatham Glenwood.
1
And I got a
nothing.
score here just a second.
1-0.
Beat Chatham Glenwood 1-0. Sam Busher has the only RBI in that game. I think he had a single in the 6th to give him the lead. Our friend Caden Altoff got the win there.
Yeah.
So he's starting to get back in around and into shape a little bit.
Not only get the 7 innings. I mean, he threw the whole game, a 3-hit shutout
Against Chatham Glenwood. That's pretty good.
3 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. So that's quite an accomplishment. I mean,
well, then T-Town comes back, plays their 3rd game against Highland, who's also ranked. And they get a 4-3 win there, get a walk-off. Or not a walk. Well, they may have been the home team. Cade Bennetkemper hit a sac fly to win it. So it may have been a walk-off. They may have been the home team. But Conkle went like 6 in the 3rd. And then Dylan Prummer had to come in and finish for him. So they were the home team. And then Bennetkemper hit a sac fly in the bottom of the 7th to get that win. And that's in 24 hours to beat Edwardsville, Chatham Glenwood, and Highland. That's impressive. And I know T-Town is, they haven't been as strong as people think they always are. Let's put it that way.
They're 18.
They've had times where they've had trouble scoring runs. The weather's been horrific. So it's hard to tell really what teams are really, who you really are. Now, this week we're going to find out. Going to be hot, no rain. So teams are going to have a nice week of games this week. But that's, whatever the circumstances, that's 3 huge wins in 24 hours.
Well, and I'm, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but I've seen Justin with some teams before that kind of were, they sputtered a little bit at different points in the season, and then it didn't matter once they got in the postseason.
Right. Well, you have games where you don't make. If you make errors, they're not at a bad time. Okay. If you walk people, you don't get burned. You get timely hit. Against Chatham, they got 1 hit. Busher drove in a run to win the game in the 6th. 1 hit. It happened to come up with a man on base, and he got a base hit. So there's so many things that can happen, so much timing. You just never know. But that's a big week for them. It really is. North Clay game, when I was watching that on TV, we talk about it. Logan Fleener made 2 plays. I was like, are you serious? There's one up the middle. It kind of hit off the heel of his glove and kind of popped up in the air. So for most players, the play's over. He somehow bare hands it and off balance, somehow fires a strike to first and gets the runner by a step. Now, I don't think it was me or you running, but it wasn't Vince Coleman either, but a heck of a play. And I just love watching him play. I think he's one of the better shortstops around.
I'm a little bothered by you putting the 2 of us on the same tier of speed here.
Well, it's a big tier. I mean, we were in the same sentence with Vince Coleman already, so
fair enough. Hey, just to circle back, I was just kind of scrolling that Shelbyville, who they've played, and 2 losses on the season. One of them was the Windsor Stew Straws just this past week on Wednesday.
Yeah, and then, again, they probably ran into Mr. Warrenson.
I was going to say, I mean, I don't have to, I don't know off the top of my head, but I would have to imagine, yes. Warnsing pitched 7 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, and 17 strikeouts in that game. So Gavin Warnsing.
So I know we're kind of taking the shotgun approach here tonight, which is hard to believe with us. But in that 1A sectional complex, okay, we've mentioned St. Anthony tonight, just a little bit, really in passing. We haven't delved on it much. And North Clay. So North Clay is the overall 1 seed. St. Anthony's the overall 2 seed. The 3 seed is South Central. The 4 seed is Altamont. Now, Altamont and North Clay are the hosts. That means South Central will be at North Clay for the regional, and St. Anthony will be at Altamont, because 1 and 2 have to be separated, and 1's a host. So 2's got to go to Altamont. So you're talking about, oh, look, we're a 1 and a 2 seed in our you know, we're the top seed in our respective regionals. Okay. You know, if all goes according to Hoyle, which there's no guarantee it will, but if you just, hey, you're going to face the next top seed. Oh, you get a place to the defending state champ, South Central, who's
Yeah.
pretty dang good.
And in baseball, like baseball is so
Doesn't matter.
because I mean, you know, you look at other sports and you're putting the exact same team out on the floor, the field, whatever, every time, right? Like it's, you know, everybody's playing the same positions more or less and doing the same things. And so one day to the next, the expectations, you know, are kind of the same. I mean, matchups matter, of course, but like as far as you doing what you're going to do, I mean, you know, not a lot is going to, your team doesn't change a lot, but with baseball, it's just everything gets thrown out the window because pitching, right? I mean, it's,
Well, and let's say you're facing somebody and you're the dominant team and you're just ripping the ball and it's just line drives right at people. You're hitting line drives right at the center field or the left field or the shortstop. And the other team's up there and they're hitting little flares over your first baseman's head that drop and have so much spin they kick away that turn into a double. And again, it's pitching. You may have one good pitcher and you face him, and if that team's got one good pitcher, you're done. And you know, we've talked about Altamont. They're a really good ball club.
yeah, sure.
So there's
Also,
if the top two teams meet in those two respective regional finals, that's some tremendous baseball right there.
yeah, it's you know, there's a lot of fun to be had along the way, obviously, but yeah,
You got a lot of other teams in there that are really, really good. I'm just saying now in the 2A regional, okay, in that sectional complex, your number 5 seed in that sectional complex just beat Edwardsville, Chatham, Glenwood, and Highland in 24 hours.
Yeah, they're going to sneak up and bite somebody. I mean, I don't.
So 1, 2, 3, 4 all get separated, and I think the sites are maybe Vandalia and Paris or Marshall. I think it's Marshall. So I think Vandalia and Marshall are the host, and I think Paris is one of the top seeds, and I forget who the other one is, but I guarantee you those teams are looking at the map going, okay, send T-Town here. No, you send them here. They don't want them at their site. Neither one does.
Yeah, I think that's just, you don't have to know anything about T-Town to even, you know, feel that way.
Yeah, but if they're a 1 or a 2 seed, you're okay. But now they're a 5, and they're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder and thinking, oh, we got underseeded. Now we're gelling under the magician, you know, so who knows? But I think that's some interesting postseason implications right there.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that you talk about the way Caden Altoff pitched in his most recent outing. Well, he wasn't even
huge.
He was barely available to them at the beginning of the season, right? I mean, we were talking a few weeks ago, you know, wow, what an accomplishment. They got him on the field. You know, he threw pitches in a game, and now, now we're talking about him shutting somebody out. And so,
that's huge.
I mean, really, and you talk about postseason high school baseball. I mean, you get yourself a couple of pitchers that are working well, and you're deadly. I mean, we've seen it time and time again.
With the pitch count, you can't have 2 studs anymore. You got to have more pitchers.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but that'll take you a pretty long way. I mean, it's
as long as they're both on.
Yeah, I mean, we've watched. You know, I mean, St. Anthony won a title not too long ago. T-Town has obviously made, you know, not only won titles, but made a lot of other deep runs. And there's always the 1 and 2 pitchers, you know, that kind of headline things. And
you know, the other side of that 1A subsectional, Stu Straws is the 1, Bethany's a host as a 2, Casey's a host as a 3. So Stu Straws is going to Casey. That's not easy. And again, it's like, okay, we got to figure out who pitches when.
Yeah. It's that's the other thing is that it's always it's always a decision about when to deploy the stud. There's a couple different schools of thought. Although I think, typically speaking, you try and have the stud available for the championship game, but it's not a good feeling to go home from a semifinal loss having not fired the most lethal bullet in the chamber, so to speak. So
And I stand corrected. Teutopolis is a 4 seed.
okay.
So Paris is 1, Newton's 2. They're a host. Flora's 3, T-Town's 4. I'm guessing Flora will go to Newton due to geography, and T-Town will go to Vandalia, and Paris will be the one there. Well, I don't know. It's at Vandalia. I don't know. I think T-Town would probably go to Vandalia, and Flora would go to Newton.
Flora, one of the losses for the Shoes early in the season.
Yep.
But that was April 8th, and a month is a long time in spring baseball season. A lot of things change. So,
and here's the thing, if they get on a roll and get out of the regional, sectionals at T-Town, place they're pretty familiar with.
Pretty good spot for one too.
Yeah, and Breeze Central is probably one of the teams that may come calling in that section. So
I don't know. What do we want to do?
It'll be interesting. St. Anthony, what did St. Anthony do this week? I did not see all
St. Anthony baseball this week. St. Anthony baseball this week. Let's see. They got a win over Neoga, 5-1. That was the one. That was let's see. That was the game where
Brody Nieberge went.
Yeah, Brody Nieberge hit 2 home runs. Now we were talking about this. We were talking about this before we started recording, and I have also hit home runs in a game at Neoga's field. So I'm just gonna say that I don't want to cheapen Brody's accomplishment. I don't mean to cast aspersions on it. All I'm saying is that I didn't see the game, so I couldn't tell you, but there are balls that you could hit at J. Lee McTier Field at Neoga High School that might not be home runs at Paul
Some
Smith.
other places.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. But be that as it may, he hit 2 home runs. They still count. You also had Will Haney hit a home run in that game. So St. Anthony won that one on Wednesday, and they played North Clay Monday and lost 4-2.
Right.
Which, again, North Clay,
good ball game,
very good. So you play a good ball game with them, you walk away from it. You walk away from a 4-2 game, and you got to feel like you had your chances to win, and you could win if you played it again. And so,
yeah, no, I agree. That's a good ball game. And again, St. Anthony hosts the sectional in 1A, so that's Paul Smith Field. So again, you could have conceivably you could have 3 NTC teams in the sectional, or 4 if Neoga can get out. You could have 4 if Neoga gets there.
Yeah.
And Stu.
Neoga's kind of seems to be a little more up and down,
They're the 5 seed. They'll be at Ocala Valley.
I've seen scores for Neoga where I was, very impressed, and I've seen others. I mean, they're 8-14 overall, so it is what it is. But they've played some good teams pretty well along the way. So
J. Lee McTier Field. I played against Coach McTier. He was good.
Yeah,
I liked him. Good guy.
They dedicated it my senior year, I believe.
Okay.
They named it that. So that was, Mike, that was 20 years ago. I'm glad that
I even played golf with him.
Did you? Yeah. They put the plaque up and named it, I guess, 20 years ago. So
yeah, well, good. I'm glad that's earned.
Yeah. I don't mean to take away from that idea. It's just depressing to think about my senior year in high school being 20 years ago. That's all I'm getting at. So St. Anthony, I'm looking at their schedule. I don't know if they've got any makeup games this week, Monday or Tuesday, but of course the City Series is
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, we can kind of put a pin in that and maybe talk about that in a minute. If we're talking St. Anthony, St. Anthony softball. Now they couldn't play their NTC tournament championship game last week because of the weather, so they're
They're
playing
playing it Monday night.
tomorrow night. Yeah, which you're gonna be
I'm
there.
helping Mr. Sapp on the radio with that.
Yeah, I got 10U softball to coach tomorrow night, and so you're the next man up on that list. So St. Anthony and
Kind of scary.
St. Anthony and Windsor Stew Straw is going to play there. St. Anthony beat them earlier this year, but it was a really good game. I believe it was an extra inning game, and so that should be fun. Windsor Stew Straws is they got off to a really good start. Kind of went through a little bit of a lull a little more lately, but they beat South Central 9-1 in the semifinals. South Central, that's a softball team that has had a lot of injuries. Things have kind of gone wrong for them lately. I think some of their better players have gotten
St. Anthony's record now? They just keep winning.
Yeah, St. Anthony softball is sitting at 20-3 right now.
Now, they got the number 1 seed in their subsectional.
Yeah, they haven't. They got beat. They got beat by Newton back on the 12th of April, and that's the last time they
Newton
lost.
and Tolono. Who's their other loss to?
There's Freeburg. Freeburg got them as well. Yep.
Well, Tolono's the number 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
St. Anthony's 1, since they're 2A. St. Joe's 3, and Westville's 4. T-Town's 5. That's where I had that T-Town 5 stuck in my head earlier. So St. Anthony will go to St. Joe. Tough place to play. I mean, they're good. They've always been really, really good.
Well, it's just a long way to go, too.
It's Champaign, and then you just go past the mall, and another 15 minutes, and you're at St. Joe.
Yeah.
I'm guessing T-Town will either go to Tolono's the other host. I don't know. I'm just looking at that. I don't know the math real good there. T-Town will either go to Tolono or St. Joe. They may end up where St. Anthony is. Who knows? But that's where those girls are at, and that's a Maroa Forsyth sectional. So the girls go north, the boys go south.
And St. Anthony softball, so they'll play it's a big week for them this week. They've got the
NTC and City Series
championship game, and then the City Series Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Do we have our marching orders yet for the City Series?
We don't. I hope that
I can't see Matt Robinson doing any games.
Yeah, because I think the weather's finally getting to where maybe
that
farming.
Bright thing in the sky will be out, and the ground's drying up.
Yeah, I told Greg I could pretty much do whatever I need to do. I know that they did a nice thing for the media who cover these games.
Move the game up a little bit.
The softball games start at 4 instead of 4:30, so that it gives us a little more time to hightail it across town to get it all on the radio. Because in the past there's been some real hustling that's had to happen to get.
Yeah, I helped Greg one game last year, and he took the equipment, I jumped on my scooter, and we flew across town.
Well,
it was close.
I've told him more than once, I think, that the station just really needs to invest in a helicopter. That would help us. We could beat the traffic a little bit.
Yeah, we could.
Plus, that way we'd never have any rainouts either, because we could rent out that helicopter to the local schools to dry out the fields.
No, with the weather we've had this year, we'd still have rainouts.
Yeah. So St. Anthony, we can get into the City Series a little bit, but St. Anthony softball, I would imagine that obviously I think you look at the 2 seasons, and St. Anthony's gonna be the prohibitive favorite to win those softball games, but it's still fun. It's a fun series, and Effingham softball, I will say this, they got off to a bit of a rough start this season, and they bumped their record up to 13-10. They have won.
Did they split at Charleston, or did they sweep Charleston?
They split with Charleston, and then they beat Taylorville twice. Wednesday, they played that. They played Wednesday. Taylorville.
Also, they didn't have to play on prom.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, girls don't like to play softball games on prom day.
Well, I guess I understand that. I mean, I nominally understand it. I don't really understand it, but that's because
Yeah, you know,
my
getting your
getting
hair.
ready, my getting
They're
ready
not
for
wash
prom.
and wear like me. I'm ready to go in 3 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say my getting ready for prom was like getting dressed and maybe going and vacuuming out my car that day, so it wasn't a complete disaster. I think pretty much the long and short of it. Uh, let's see. So Effingham's actually they've got a game with T-Town this week too. So they'll play T-Town Tuesday night, according
No,
to.
they got rained out the first time they tried to play,
Was
correct?
that what it was? That what it
I
was?
think so. So they played Tuesday in the City Series, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah,
That's four big games in a row for them.
yeah. So you'll kind of see where they're at.
Yeah.
No, they played T-Town once already. They lost 16-6 back on the 25th of April.
Okay.
So they're just playing them again. So we'll see how that goes. But I think Effingham's conference record 7-5. So they're it was Jerry was on with us. All the coaches were on with us from Effingham T-Town, and he talked about some youth that they have. I mean, I think their primary pitcher, the Altoff girl, she's a freshman. So no matter how good a player you were in junior high or park league, like making that adjustment to varsity softball is going to be a big step. And so she's, they're winning some games, and that's good. That's nice to see. So
Well, I remember my daughter was a sophomore. We had a freshman pitcher and a freshman catcher, and Hope Collier and Kaylee Tunn. They were both pretty good, but they were freshmen.
Yeah, and they kept getting better too.
Had good careers. Hope didn't pitch beyond maybe her sophomore year. She just all of a sudden she just couldn't consistently throw strikes, but she could still hit the ball.
I was going to say they both hit the ball.
Yeah, she hit a ton of home runs.
Yep. Effingham Baseball. You want to? I'm looking at Effingham Baseball. They didn't. I don't know if they played. I don't know if they got their. I don't know if they got their conference games in yesterday or not. I don't see anything.
Who were they supposed to play? Taylorville?
Yeah. They were supposed to play Taylorville. They were supposed to play Flora on Friday. That one didn't get played. I don't know about the Taylorville. I really, that was supposed to be at Taylorville. Don't know what their what their field situation's like. It rained enough. They rained enough around here Thursday, Friday that I could see a field still not being playable Saturday, especially just because even when it wasn't raining on those days, it was pretty dreary. So they played T-Town Monday and lost that one 11-0. They split with Charleston the previous weekend. I don't think we really got much of a chance to talk about that. So they're sitting at 11-10 and 4-6 in the Apollo. So you look at that and it's you feel like it's pretty so-so. And then you look at St. Anthony baseball, and we can just kind of segue. We can just kind of segue into City Series talk here. St. Anthony 16-5, and so if you just look at that, you probably think that St. Anthony is your favorite in the City Series, but I think it's going to be an interesting baseball series. I think you could.
Well, a lot of it's going to depend on the pitching. I mean, FEM has the situation with their kids throwing conference games, and this and that. Well, if they didn't get a chance to play Saturday, now your number one and number two pitchers haven't pitched in a while.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And it's just, that's one of the things. What's that?
I was just gonna say I was looking at their schedule to see if they play anybody Monday. They don't. So City Series is it for them this week. So yeah, it would have almost been nice to have a Monday game and just give everybody an inning or two, Well,
and it can be the case where you can come into the City Series and throw, Powles and McDevitt each. You've got that limit so many pitches where they're not, they can come back probably. You throw them Wednesday. heck, maybe you split the game Wednesday between the two of them and you do just enough pitches where they can come back Saturday.
Well, you might have a couple different plans depending on how that Wednesday game goes,
Sure.
because
Yeah.
you just kind of play it by ear the first few innings and then decide how you want to proceed. I mean,
that makes them, and obviously with Effingham, that makes a big difference in the game. Those two guys pitching, they're 1 and 2 for a reason.
yeah, McDevitt, we talked about him before we came on too.
That's impressive.
The last time he pitched was against Charleston. We said they split with Charleston. They won the first game of that Apollo Conference doubleheader 13-4, and he pitched 6 innings in that game, didn't give up any hits. He walked 3, struck out 15. So 15 strikeouts.
And you only pitched 6 innings?
6 innings, yeah.
Oh, somebody else came in and pitched the 7th?
Andrew Donaldson finished it.
Okay, so they combined for a no-hitter.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, Andrew Donaldson gave up a couple of hits.
So he had a 6-inning no-hitter. He just was done because of pitch count.
Probably. I don't know.
But of his 18 outs he recorded, 15 were strikeouts.
Yeah. And again, Powell's had 11 strikeouts. They lost the second game 3-2. And Powell's went 6 innings and struck out 11. So,
wow. That's 12 innings between your 1 and 2 with 26 strikeouts. That's pretty good.
You get those guys happening to pitch, the way they're capable of in the City Series, and give yourself a pretty good chance to win a couple of games. But
and that's the thing. And again, we don't know if they got a chance to play yesterday or not. But and who do they have next Saturday?
Yeah, let me look.
They played Muhammad. They've played Charleston.
I think, obviously, if they didn't get those Taylorville games in, those have to.
That would be Taylorville
sometime. But as of right now, their schedule is showing Centralia on Saturday, which I think Centralia is that's pretty commonly who they have on the schedule for that last weekend of the regular season. But then sometimes it does or doesn't happen, depending on.
Right. Well, if you have conference makeup or something, who knows?
Yeah. And it looks like they're supposed to go to Civic Memorial and play on Friday also. So
okay.
And Highland on Tuesday. So that's quite a week.
So they got Highland before the City Series.
Highland's showing on Tuesday the 17th.
Oh, okay. Tuesday next week. Okay.
Yep. So that's home. Centralia is scheduled for home. I don't know. Makeups. If they didn't play Taylorville yesterday, and forgive us for not knowing for sure, but we don't know for sure. But those games would have to get played, so they may supplant something else on that schedule.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I guess my take on the City Series for baseball is that St. Anthony may look to be having the better season, but I think that there's certainly a not surprising outcome where Effingham wins a couple of those games because they've got a couple of stud pitchers. Now, the flip side of that coin is that St. Anthony is good and they hit the ball, and I could easily imagine them getting a win against one of those guys too, in a low scoring game probably.
Yeah.
But getting the key hits here and there. I mean, St. Anthony is a solid team too.
They're a good ball club. Heck yes, they're a good team.
They've beaten some good teams this year, and you look at St. Anthony's baseball losses, and I'm going to do that right now. I mean, they lost a doubleheader to Breeze Central on the first weekend of the season. Okay, 3-2, 10-0, and then they didn't lose again until like almost a month later when they played Altamont. They went from the 26th of March until the 22nd of April before they lost again. And Shelbyville and North Clay are the only other 2 losses on there. So you look at who they've lost to. I mean, really good teams. Really good teams. So
when did they play St. Anthony or T-Town, or did they get?
They played T-Town. They beat T-Town 7-3. Yeah.
That's what I thought. I knew they did. I just didn't remember when it was.
Yep. It was on April 11th.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think, yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's just kind of the point is perhaps that anything could happen in the baseball side of the city series. Softball, St. Anthony's just really good. And if they win all three of those games, it's not because Effingham is, a terrible team or something. It's just
No, Santa's pretty good.
really good. And I think those programs are kind of at different points. They're, high school sports are so cyclical a lot of times. There's very few programs that are just really good every year. I mean, we have a few of them around here, but sometimes you'll have your high and low points. Well, St. Anthony is at a high point right now, and Effingham is at a point where they're, you can see a year or two down the road where they're could be pretty darn good team. But
well, and think about St. Anthony also, not a lot of seniors on that roster.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, like Effingham could keep the band together, all their young players improve quite a bit. And boy, they're still gonna have their hands full next year in the city series. But that's what makes it fun. You go in there against a really good team, and give it your best shot with
the
a lot of
city
people in the crowd.
City series started 1 year too late for baseball. I mean, my senior year was the first 3-year city series. The year before, spring of 80, St. Anthony, I believe, got third in the state tournament in baseball. And we got beat in the championship of the sectional. At that time, there was no super. 8 teams went to state. We got beat in the championship of the sectional by Collinsville, who was the eventual state champ. And we played 1 game that year, and it was a 1-run game. That would have been the year really to showcase 3 games. But my senior year, the first year of the city series, we won 3 1-run games. It was like 4-3, 3-2, 5-4. So it was all 3 1-run games. So it was great. I loved it. It was so much fun. I mean, because we were all good friends.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of chatter going on the field.
And obviously the joke every year with city series as well,
Gonna rain.
City series is scheduled for this week, so we know it's going to rain. Well, I don't think that's going to be the case this year. It's looking pretty good.
Those grills in right field will be smoking. How's that for a term?
Yeah, and let me tell you something. There will be guys up in the press box, that love a good piece of grilled meat too.
They brought us something last year. One of the games I was doing, they brought us up a sandwich.
They usually do. Yeah, like
you plug them on the air and they'll bring you something.
Yeah, that's the thing. We just have to butter them up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm not too proud to do it. Okay. I will pull out all the stops to make that happen.
And like I said, I doubt Matt's doing any games, and you'll probably work as many as you want. And then if something was last year because you couldn't work them, what was up there?
My daughter's been playing this travel softball, and they play in the spring. So
okay, that must have been what it was, because I think I did all 3 or 2 of them, maybe.
Yeah, her team's schedule works where she plays on Mondays and Wednesdays this spring. So we got a game Wednesday night somewhere. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I've been to every game. I'm coaching this year. Like I'm part of the coach.
Well, then coach can't miss. So
well, yeah, I don't know. I try not to be too.
So you're telling me Wednesday, maybe my night, I have to be there.
Yeah, that may be the case. That would probably be
right.
That would probably be the safest way to look at it. We'll get it figured out. I don't know what else we want to talk about. I did want to mention real quick.
Oh, did we mention T-Town softball? We didn't mention T-Town softball.
T-Town softball. Let me look here. Set 15-7 on the year. This past week, they played Mater Dei yesterday, and lost 4-1.
Yeah, I saw that.
They played Mattoon on Tuesday. Got thumped actually. They're kind of in a low point right now because
they've had some peaks and valleys this season. They've had games where they played well, but yeah, and again, you beat the dead horse. Their number 1 pitcher is now throwing overhand, able to throw overhand and play catch. So
yeah,
she's progressed to that.
Well, I saw that Tia was advertising for pitching lessons this summer, so she at least feels well enough to be able to do that. That's good. So yeah. They play, and it looks like they also played Marshall on Saturday and beat them
They
3-0.
beat Marshall.
Yeah. So that looked to be part of a tournament somewhere. So
Yeah. Maybe at Robinson or Newton.
yeah, I'm not sure. So they split there, but prior to beating Marshall, they had lost 4 in a row, 5 out of 7, but to some pretty good teams, obviously. St. Anthony.
Well, there's good teams in the area. Yeah. St. Anthony, that I was a little surprised at that game. I wasn't surprised St. Anthony won, but I was surprised it was like a 7-1 game. I was a little surprised about that.
Yeah.
Because T-Town thumped them last year.
Yeah. Well, T-Town's got Effingham, like we already mentioned. They play Effingham Tuesday. They go to Robinson on Thursday, and they get another crack at Newton on Friday. Newton will be coming to their place this time. So, and that's I mean, for the 1A and 2A schools, this is the last.
This is the last one. So they're not like basketball where they don't start at all at the same time?
It doesn't appear to be the case. I'm looking at, like Effingham Baseball, they play the 21st is their last is their Saturday the 21st. They've got that Centralia doubleheader, but you look at St. Anthony Baseball, and they are they're done after this week. So
for a second, Whitey, I thought we were like just looking at Ghost Hunter video, and I thought that door opened without anybody coming through it.
No, it's just my son who has something very important that he thinks he needs right now.
I'm sure he does. Attaboy.
For my messenger.
Okay, buddy, we can deal with that later. Okay.
I only have 8 minutes on.
Okay. All right. Why don't you go wait? Okay, shut the door. We're not going to cut any of this out either because I don't.
No, that's the blooper reel. That's what it's. Cats, kids.
Well, I don't know how much you can hear it, but there's been a beagle downstairs going.
I haven't heard a single bark from you.
There's been a beagle going apeshit downstairs for pretty much the entire time we've been on.
Haven't heard it.
I'll tell you what, beagles, in a lot of ways, they're fun dogs to have, but man, they do not shut up ever.
Yeah,
So anyway,
that's what it is.
I did want to mention one other thing, as far as just other sports. And again, we don't purport on this show to be experts on anything other than well,
we're not experts on anything.
We're not experts on anything, but we could talk intelligently about some sports and others we're not so much. But I did see the headline where St. Anthony's boys and girls both won the conference, the NTC.
Yeah, I saw that. They won the NTC.
And one name that popped out to me when I was reading that story for St. Anthony, Griffin Elder, just a guy that I felt like I should talk about him for a second because
he won the 8, 16, and 32.
Yeah, won the 800, won the mile, won the 2 mile, and ran a leg on winning 2 winning relays, the 4x4 and the 4x8.
Well, you can't do that. That's 5 events.
Well, I don't know. That's what all I'm telling you is what was in the Effingham Daily News write-up of it. So yeah, that does.
I think you're only allowed to be in 4 events still, aren't you?
Well, let me tell you something. Whichever one of those relays he wasn't in, it doesn't make me any difference. If he won, winning the 8, 16, and the 32 all in one day
that's good. That's impressive.
I mean, there's running a mile and then there's running a mile in a race. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I run miles all the time, and they're running a mile in 8 minutes is for exercise is one thing, but going out there and basically putting the pedal to the metal for 4 laps, I mean, that is I can't even really imagine it. Kids go to the state track meet sometimes, and they'll do that stuff. They'll run the 800 and 1600 on the same day. It's crazy because listen, those are sprint races. They really are. Like those.
The 800 is now the hardest race. I think it used to be the 4, and I think it's now the 8.
Yeah, because
the 8's pretty much a two. I mean, yeah, I've been up to the state track meet. It's a 2 laps. It's hard 2 laps.
I used to, when I was with the Daily News, I used to go cover the state track meet every year, which I was on one hand there was always a regional or sectional championship happening at the same time that I probably, if I had my druthers, I would have been at.
Right.
But state track meet is, you watch kids going out there and pushing themselves to the limit. And those, yeah, the 800 and the mile are the ones you want to talk about, having to wait for kids to get done barfing before you interview them. Those are the races. Those are the ones, because they're
like
putting it all on the line.
Cross country regional sectional working, we call it the puke shoot, where they come in to finish because they want to stop as soon as they cross that finish line, and you can't do that.
You got to get them out of the
way.
way.
Got to keep them moving. And some of those kids, it's I mean, not some of them, they're gutting it out. They're going hard.
No, maybe I've said this on this show before, but covering cross country meets, it was always the T-town girls that I noticed did it the most. They would run, they'd leave it all out on the course, and the minute they crossed the finish line, a lot of them would drop. They just didn't have anything left to give.
Well, and that's the thing, when we're doing that, we've done it because my daughter Jessica ran, so we're handling it with, they had an invitational, and then they hosted postseason a couple times, regional and sectional. Sectional's the worst because that's their trip to state, and I mean, those kids are leaving it all, and they're battling for those spots, and we'd have, Bart Willenberg and I would be like the dumb gorillas at the front, and then we'd be handing them off to about 5 moms. I know my wife, a lot of different moms would be there helping, and you've got a girl to finish and collapse, and she's dead weight in your arms. Yeah. And you're trying to get her to somebody here to take her out of the way, because here comes 20 girls in, and they're only going to be 15 seconds apart,
and they're not.
You can't be on the ground here.
Yeah, they're not going to slow down until they cross.
No, and it's exactly. And cross country kids, watching my daughter run 4 years, they're different mentality.
Yeah,
and I'll just say this: kids shouldn't drink a bottle of green Gatorade before they run.
Yeah, there's not a lot of fanfare that goes along with those sports, for better or worse. But yeah, they take it no less seriously, and a lot of times, I mean, you talk about pushing yourself to the limit. I mean, I think cross country especially is a sport that allows you to push yourself to your physical limit more than maybe any other sport really allows you to, any other sport.
And your mental limit.
Yeah.
Because your body starts saying, I hurt, and you got to convince it doesn't. Track's the same way. And Jess ran track 3 years, her senior year, that was the COVID year. And I don't remember if she was going to run anyway or not. She kind of had senioritis, but track's the same way. And I love going to track meets. The greatest race in the track meet is the 4x4 at the end of the race. And I loved it when we were at an invitational with Newton kids, because the whole Newton track team is on the straightaway. And then they all sprint across the football field, and they're yelling down the back straightaway. And then they all sprint back across here. And that race, because that 400 is a gut race, man. That's
sure.
You're talking about,
again, it's a dead sprint.
You want to be 105 to 55 for girls in there. And I've watched some battles in my day, Kristen Slaughter and Morgan Meddy from T-Town, and Kristen Slaughter from St. Anthony. You talk about fighting two hard-headed girls pushing themselves in a 4x4 running that anchor. It's just fun to watch.
That's the thing, because the 100, 200, like it's just a, there's, you get going and it's over, right? Like 400, there's time. Again, you talk about the mental aspect of it. There's time to think about what's going on, and you can either, respond positively or negatively to that. And it's tough, because at the same time, again, it's a sprint just like those other two, right? Like you gotta push yourself just as hard. So
you don't start out easy, you go.
Yeah, so there's definitely that mental toughness aspect to it. Yeah, it's and you talk about Newton. I mean, Newton was one of the fun teams for me to always watch at the state track meet, because they always had some pretty good group of athletes, and it doesn't take, you win, you place in a handful of events, and you're right there for a team championship. And I think they valued that team championship. That was back when Bob Horst was the football coach, but then also the track coach. And yeah, they they took it very serious, and I think they still do. I saw that I think their teams did pretty well at the LIC meet recently as well. So,
but I think track's a sport around here. I mean, I saw like T-Town's numbers are down now. St. Anthony's up, but the thing about that conference, there may have been people running in that conference meet. Because in the past, they've pulled people from baseball if they have an off day. Some baseball player may come and run the 400,
yeah,
they've had that luxury to do some things like that. But yeah, track's a lot of fun
Yeah.
sport. Pole vaulters are crazy. I don't understand how you go upside down.
Mm.
If you just hung onto the pole and jumped and
Yeah, I
but
don't know.
when and I've watched 800 different mimosas and when they're upside down, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I guess maybe it just happens fast enough that you can't really get too freaked out about it. Who knows?
And we've got good, and then I can't think of the family name from Sigel, the real good pole vaulters from Sigel. They all bolted at TJ.
Yeah, you're stumping me now. I'm sure.
Yeah, and I know they've done a lot of lessons, and they've had kids place really high, and I'm having that typical. When we're done, I'll remember the name just like that.
Yeah. Maybe sometime I might have to I mean, I work on campus, for God's sake. I ought to be able to go over and watch the state track meet.
State track meet was fun because you could get a strawberry shake. That one company was there. Oh, that's the only thing better than a lemon shake up.
Big Al's, that's who it is. Big Al's is who it is.
Big Al's is who it is. That's right.
Yeah, that's I think it's fun also as media. It's fun to be on the infield of the track while it's all going down too.
Right. I agree.
Like just kind of seeing how how people are preparing, and then how people are dealing, how they're doing after the race and stuff like that. Yeah, well, a lot of fun. No reason why I couldn't get over there. Maybe I'll just have to do that now that we're talking.
You could be like you could do a correspondent from the Whitey and Wilson, do some interviews.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. That's starting to sound an awful lot like work. So
well, you're right there.
But anyway, I don't know. We got anything else? We've been going for an hour.
Yeah,
50 minutes. We got a couple Attaboys. We've decided to go with 2 this week.
Let's do that. Okay. You know what? I didn't get it pulled. I didn't get the audio pulled up before we started. So I can tell you, I can tell you already that it's going to be a little disappointed. Well, I'll tell you what, just so people can kind of see how the sausage is made, I have to open this file and then it plays. And I just never know exactly how long it's going to take. So there it is. You might have heard it for just a second there, but
well, while you're fiddling through that, we had an 80-1 win the Kentucky Derby. And the horse was not mentioned in the whole race until the last 4 seconds.
Because the horse was in like 12th place.
That video, that all of a sudden the announcer goes, what was it? I can't remember this name, the horse now, Rich.
Something Spirit. It was
Rich Spirit.
Rich Strike. That's what
Rich Strike. He mentions it as it's almost taking the lead, which is in the last 20 yards.
Well, and it's not just that, but it was weaving around too.
It had to wind through traffic. Everything worked just right.
Yep, it was pretty crazy to watch.
And the horse got in because someone scratched with 30 seconds to go on the deadline to scratch him out. A horse scratched with 30 seconds to go on the deadline, and they were the first one to get in. They got the spot. They said nobody knew the horse that has such long odds.
Yeah, I was going to say hardly anybody probably even got rich off of that or anything because because they didn't even know the horse was running.
And did you see the time on that race compared to Secretariat's Kentucky Derby?
No.
13 furlongs. So that's 13 posts. That's a that's a big win.
Yeah.
Secretariat was just see you.
Yeah. So Attaboys. I don't know how you want to do it. We got a couple of them, and
we got 2 this week. I just felt we had a lot of choices, but I felt like there was two that would kind of stood out.
So one of them, and we've talked about both of these kids already. Here's what I'm gonna do, because you know, I'll kind of let you do the talking on one of them, because I think you're a little more prepared than I am for that one. But we talked about McDevitt. That's Josh McDevitt for Effingham. Now this, I guess, if you really wanted to get technical on this would have been an attaboy from last week. But Effingham also, you know, we're gonna fudge it a little bit. That Charleston game, the doubleheader, again, Effingham won that game 13-4 and 6 innings. You know, no hits.
But didn't we do our show early with?
You're right. So
we did the show Friday.
Yeah, we did our show because we had to we had to do it Friday to get Mr. Raditz on here.
Yeah. So
there you go. It's the attaboy of the last 10 days. How about that?
Yeah, because we had an extended period.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we mentioned it already, but 15 strikeouts in those 6 innings, no hits.
Pretty good.
He walked 3 and got the win. So, you know, I think you strike out 15 of the 18 hitters you face, and we can go ahead and give you one of these right here.
That goes out to Josh McDevitt. The other attaboy is going to go out to Sam Busher, who had just a heck of a week. He homered in their loss to North Clay, was the winning pitcher, and homered against Edwardsville. Had the only hit and RBI in their win against Chatham, and then scored 2 of their 4 runs with 1 hit in their win with Highland. So that's a pretty good week in my eyes.
Pretty good week. I think Sam, yeah, for doing that. I think we can go ahead and double up and give you one of these as well.
So I still got to get Caden Altoff and Sam Busher theirs. McDevitt, we can see at the city series. We can get that taken care of. Emily Cockle, we still need to get. Cameron Rios, we can get, and Hatton, we can get at the city series. So we can catch up. And we still have our tennis player from Effingham from a couple weeks ago. That one's on you.
That's on me?
Yeah, you chose it.
Okay. I don't know.
You may have to have Tanya help you with that one.
Yeah, I'll reach out to her. See if we can.
All right. So big week coming, Whitey. City series. Nothing better. It's a lot of fun around here, especially when you don't have to worry about rain.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're gonna
you get a crowd, you get people grilling. A lot of red Solo cups. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, I would request one of those up in the press box too, but I don't know how anybody else would feel about that. So, you know, we'll just have to wait till afterwards.
You're doing a game one night and I'm not, I'll be taking a picture.
We'll see how it all
yeah, make sure you can work Thursday, because I don't think I can work Thursday night.
Well, Thursday, Friday shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
And again, this is all assuming that Matt will be in the field.
Right. Well, I'm assuming he's going to be playing in the dirt. My goodness.
I'm
He's
sure
been chomping at the bit.
Yeah, you know, he's got to put food on the table. So
yeah.
All right. Well,
all right, that's good.
Hey,
we're under an hour.
All right. Let's call it a week, and we will talk on Sunday the 15th.
See you, Whitey.
Later.